from us.
Oh. I have no idea if this is the right number.
Hello?
Is this Sean?
Yes?
Dude, what's up, brother?
Who's this?
This is John White.
Joe who?
Wait, is this Sean Brown?
No.
Well, who is this?
Sean.
Oh, I'm real sorry. I meant to call a different Sean.
Yeah? How does he spell his name?
S-E-A-N.
That's the same way as mine. That's original James Bond.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's Brown. I'm a local handyman here in Reno. What's your guy?
Oh, gosh, Sean. He's just my friend. But sorry to interrupt. Sorry to call you. I'll enter it in my phone correctly.
Yeah, that's what happens with those smartphones. They make you dumb sometimes. That's all right. That's why I don't have one. All right, take care of that.
You too, Sean. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. They could have gone better. Oh, they couldn't have gone better. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I called the wrong Sean. I couldn't have gone better.
John White?
Sean Brown, what's up, dude?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Not too shabby.
Fuck
Hey,
yeah.
Can we all right?
What? Yeah, dude, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
Dude,
Oh, I'm so sorry it's taken so long.
Dude, no, man, it's my fault, man. You had me on that one day, and then I fucking went to Costco, and I fucking thought, like, I would have enough time, but I had such a big fucking load of shit, and I was carrying it, and it was in these 2 bags. Like, I brought my own, like, fucking, like, those bags they sell at grocery stores, and, like...
You actually remembered to bring them. That's the hard part.
I remembered, and then it seriously took me so long because I had to it was so tiring to fucking walk with all that shit. So it's totally my fault. Sorry about that, and thank you so much for fucking being on the show, man.
Yeah, no worries. Appreciate it.
Dude, you know what's funny is I called a different Sean, and it was so awesome. So if you ever watch this episode, it's so funny, dude. It's like this guy, he's like a handyman in town, and he just tells like a bunch of dad jokes, and they're great.
Man, that sounds like that guy's way more interesting than I am.
No, dude, he's just like saying, he's like, well, that's what happens with smartphones. Sometimes they make you dumb. And then like he just laughed super hard at his own joke. I mean, I do that sometimes on this podcast, so I can't hate on him for that. But dude, what's up, man? How you been?
Holy cow. Busy. Been busy. Very busy. Work, starting companies, prepping to marry some friends, Zelda, of course.
Wait, you mean like you're... Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Zelda.
No, after that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
You just said... I think you said...
Reading, learning.
I think you said so much stuff, and I fucking stepped on it. And I'm sorry, and the reason that I stepped on it was because I was wondering, what do you mean you're marrying your friends? Like, you're taking the online thing?
Yep.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Who is it?
So it's a good friend of mine named Sam, and his lovely girlfriend, and yeah, I don't think you know either of them, but
I think I know Sam. Did Sam's been to like Hawaii with you guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Sam. I mean, we've met a couple of times, but I know who he is. He seems like a really cool guy, dude. That's super cool.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guy. So I'm super excited and incredibly nervous to do that.
Dude, that's so cool. So did he ask you?
Yeah. For some reason, he asked me.
Dude, you're gonna do awesome, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
Dude, if I ever get married, I would love for you to be my guy, dude. That would be awesome. Seriously, man.
Wedding number 2.
Hell yeah, dude. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's in the cards, but if it is, I'll know that you. I mean, the license, is it for life?
I don't know. I'm still doing research. Somewhere on the site it talked about that it's good for 30 days. I don't know if that's actually the ability to perform the wedding or if that's some weird site stuff. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it lasts longer than 30 days.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've never heard of like it just like running out that fast. So, you know what I mean? Like when I haven't heard, not that many people I've heard done that, but just that's cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Dude, you're gonna do awesome, man. You'll be great.
Thanks. What have you been up to?
Just finishing my CD. Like, it's so funny I call it a CD, but finishing my album. It's just taking a while, but it's coming out on June 29th, so I'm excited. And it's a triple album, and I'm really excited for you to hear it, man. I hope you like it, but I think you will because, yeah, dude, it took. I realized like it took me as long as like I was in high school. Like by the time it's gonna come out, it's like I just like went to high school to make this album. It's really weird. Like I was like, oh man, it. Like I started like, it's like 4 years. It's crazy.
You're ridiculous, dude. You're the most ridiculous person I've ever known. I can't believe you're just so prolific in your skill, man. Every time I hear about it and talk to you, I'm just always blown away.
Dude, thanks, man.
You make me jealous all the time.
No, dude, not at all.
So cool.
But I mean, your fucking art is amazing, dude, and you do so much stuff, dude. I mean, it's the same for you, man. Like, I journal and I do like so much stuff because of, I mean, forever you've influenced me so much, man. And like thinking about like so much of the stuff I'm doing right now is like influenced from like that time we went to that Asian restaurant, you know? Like, I'm serious, man.
Tell me more.
Just like how you talked about how you started to like journal like every moment of your life pretty much. Like you really like broke down what you did with your time. And
Right.
I mean, I haven't gone like you showed me your journals and I haven't gone like that meticulous, but like I journal in the morning and I write like notes about like I got to do this or like whatever it is I'm like frustrated with or excited about. Whatever it is, I just like just journal in the morning. But dude, you have such a work ethic that's like amazing, man. Really.
No, I think just what I was doing was just borderline insanity. that's the difference, I'm pretty sure.
Do you but it was still like, I mean, it's interesting. Do you mind talking a little bit about just what it was? Like
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, you mentioned art or whatever. Something that I almost never do.
which, dude, sorry to interrupt, but you're so amazing. And I don't know if you have scans or anything, but I would love to or if you have a website to link to. I love your art so much, man. Like so fucking much, dude. And it's like you're just seriously like it's so good. And I hope I can show people because it's like a visceral emotional response to like your stuff, and it's so good, man.
Well, shucks. Next time you're out here, grab something off off the wall, and I mean, it's literally just up against the wall. It's not even hanging. That's the extent that I put effort into promoting or doing anything with my art. It's just on the floor against a wall. So take your pick, whatever you want.
Dude, I would love that, man. I would fucking love to take some art and have some of your original art up, dude. I would pay you for it, of course. But dude, to be honest with you, there's a girl, a woman. She's not a little girl, but I'm just joking, being stupid. But she's a woman. Her name is Hillary Henry, and she's a painter in town. And like, dude, she's the same, man. She is so good, but like, it's just all leaned up against her wall. Like, she paints one, she like kind of puts it down, it kind of dries, and she is just always painting stuff. And
that's awesome.
You know, I think
I love hearing those stories of people that just keep doing it. There's a part of me that just wishes that that's all I did. And then I try it, and then it's like, man, there's so many other things I also want to do. And so it's a curse.
That's like, I remember one time you saying, and I remember it being like, it was such a cool thing. And you're just like, man, there's just not enough hours in the day to do all the stuff I want to do and research all the stuff I want to research and learn all the stuff I want to learn. And I just remember thinking, like, that's such a badass attitude. You know, like, I love that so much.
Well, I still think it's true. It sucks.
That's like the best dilemma.
It's, yeah. Well, I mean, there's no, like, escaping it, which kind of sucks. I like dilemmas where, like, you can eventually, like, weasel your way through it. This one's just like, I don't know. Ultimately, you just reach the end of the conclusion. It's like, oh yeah, but then I died. Yeah. So, but it's still fun. You got to keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen. Wait. So back to what you were saying. Sorry. Back to what you were saying about the journaling.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, the journaling kind of started from. I'm trying to remember his name. There was an artist that essentially he started kind of just taking parts of his life and quantifying it, more or less. And so he would kind of pull out and tease out different data over the year, and every year he would kind of publish like his little magazine. And so some of it was based on, you know, like if he was in New York for the year, and like kind of he would track all the restaurants and all the car rides that he went on and all the people he talked to and that kind of stuff. And so that was super interesting, and kind of being able to look through some of his previous years was super inspiring. And so that was one of the kind of the motivations. And the second motivation was just more, you know, like you're saying with the art, like, you know, there was a time when I would, you know, would have considered myself like, oh yeah, I'm a painter. I do smart. And, you know, trying to quantify that essentially and actually identify more or less who and what I am. And so once I started writing all that stuff down and kind of paying attention to, you know, how I actually spend my time, it was pretty apparent pretty quick that what I'm not is a painter. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where it stemmed from. And beyond that, it just kind of grew into just tracking all kinds of things. So for a few years, it was meticulously tracking everything I ate, all the steps I took, all the books I read, all the movies I watched, what time I woke up, what time I went to bed, and, you know, everywhere I'd go in between there. And then between that, just kind of everything random. Some of it kind of became a staple, and some of it just kind of went away organically. But those things that I mentioned were pretty much consistent for the entire year. And then I would, and then also like all the music I listened to and stuff. So then at the end of the year, I could kind of compile it all and essentially see what bands I liked. You know, like what's my favorite band right now? You know, and it's it's probably not just the band I've been listening to this last week, but probably the band I've been listening to the most this last year. And kind of just pulling out data like that, which was really interesting. So I think for one of the years, my most consumed food for the entire year was it was a protein granola bar. That was the number one. I have like the exact count. I think it was like 500 some granola bars. Just insanity like that. So ultimately at the end, I was hoping that like, okay, I have all this awesome data about myself. Like, what can I do? Like, how can I use this to just benefit me so much? And ultimately, I don't know. There was nothing that I could really pull out of it other than the things that I'm not. But it's hard to like take that and actually apply it to something incredibly useful or insightful. But it's still really neat to just kind of go through. And so I would do like a moleskin every month, and after the first or second month, you kind of like start to figure out a pattern that you just kind of keep applying, and then it organically becomes like a system. And so I have a couple of years worth of those just in a giant bundle, which is neat because at any point I can go back and on the day I could see when I woke up, what I did, who I hung out with, what I ate. I guess one of the kind of the interesting things was I can start to see roots of interest in things. So, like at one point I would write something down about like a quote or, an idea or a book. And then like that future, in the future that would turn out to me, kind of reading or watching some videos or something about a subject similar. And it kind of just organically would grow. But it's neat to see when like the initial seed was planted on like something that ultimately led me down like a really interesting path of discovery. So those kind of things are cool, but it's kind of, they're really hard to find. And so ultimately I just had a bunch of data and I just didn't know what to do with it. And so over the last few years, I've kind of really pruned it back. And so there's still a few things that I track, all my music and all the books and all the movies, just because, I don't know, my brain is dumb, and so I forget a lot. And so it's really nice to kind of go back and see, like, kind of the stuff I've done.
Dude, that's so cool, man. That's so cool. Wait, have you seen the movie Spring, Summer, Winter, Fall, and Spring?
It's an old movie, right?
Yeah, I think it's from like the early 2000s. Like it's like this Korean.
No, I'm thinking of a different one. No, I haven't seen that one. Is that one a foreign?
Yeah, it's like a Korean movie.
Yeah, I've definitely.
I don't know.
I've actually never seen that one.
Sorry, I didn't. I was just actually thought I maybe had to talk to you about that before, but I did. So, but it's a good movie, anyways. Check it out sometime. But I really actually do think you would love that movie. Dude, have you seen anything lately you would recommend?
Let's see. So there's a Jim Jarmusch movie, Patterson. Have you seen that one?
Mm.
That one's awesome. Yeah, you got to go watch that. That was totally like under the radar. I don't know if they did any advertising for that. I think I had a friend point it out to me, and so I went and watched it with some friends, and it was really, really cool.
Hell yeah.
So you should definitely check that one out. And then, obviously, like La La Land and Moonlight were great. We ended up seeing a pretty awesome movie up at Park City for Sundance this year. We had some friends that worked there, and so we were kind of able to get into a couple movies with them.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was awesome. So there's one that'll probably come out, I'm assuming, at the end of this year, because it was great, called Wind River. Yeah, so look out for that one, because when that's out, it's going to be sweet.
That's cool. Was it like people that are famous in it, or is it all kind of underground?
Yeah, so So let's see. It has Jeremy Renner in it. Elizabeth Olsen. Oh, actually, I pulled it up.
Oh, Jeremy Renner. He lives right down the block.
What?
Oh, Jeremy Renner. That's Hawkeye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives in Reno. Well, he doesn't like live here, but he's here sometimes, and he has property here and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
People just always take pictures of him, and they're like, "Oh, like Jeremy Renner was a dick." It's like, dude, leave him alone. Like what? What are you? Like, he's just walking around, you know. But at the same time, if I saw Hawkeye, I'd be like, "What up, Hawkeye?" I don't know. But wait, so sorry. Back to this movie.
Yeah. So it's the same director, or it's the same writer that wrote Sicario. You ever watch
Oh
that?
fuck! No, I haven't seen that yet.
You gotta watch that. That's great. So that one he wrote, but this was his first, he wrote it and he directed it. This is his first directorial debut.
Did he write Hell or High Water too?
Let's see, he did something for it. He might have just been in it. No, it looks like he did write it. Yes.
Fuck, that movie's a fucking amazing.
Is it? I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking great. So that's cool, man. That's sweet that you got to see that at Sundance. That's fucking badass.
Yeah, that was really cool. It has a really high IMDb rating, 8.8, which is pretty incredible for IMDb.
Yeah, totally. That is really high.
I wonder what it is on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see. Yeah, 83 on Rotten Tomatoes. Anyways, it's really cool. Check it out. I wonder, is there a trailer for that? There might be. If so, you should watch it.
Okay, I will.
But, yeah, you watched La La Land, right?
Yeah, I didn't see Moonlight, but yeah, I really loved La La Land. I kind of, no offense to anyone to make it the movie, the beginning of it, I was like, uh-oh, this is going to be more than I can handle. But by the end of, just because it was this huge number at the beginning, and then, by the end of the movie, I was just so in love with it and so in love with the characters, and he's doing that with that band that he hates, that's my hell, so it's really cool to watch a movie about a guy living out your hell and seeing how it affects him and stuff. But so you like that one too?
I really did, yeah. I thought that was great. Yeah, other than that, everything kind of just repeats. I watched Whiplash again, which was awesome.
I still haven't seen that.
What?
Yeah, okay, I'll watch it. I'll watch it soon.
What?
I'll watch it immediately.
You've seen Birdman, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that one is a little too good of a movie, in my opinion.
Birdman?
Yeah, it's so good.
What was the one he did afterwards? The one he won all the awards. Oh, I didn't see that one either with Leo. Man, I'm fucking behind.
Yeah. You didn't watch that?
I haven't seen that either. Jesus, this is good conversation to motivate me to actually get my act together.
Yeah, you gotta get on that.
Did you see Get Out?
I did.
Dude, yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, that was pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, the fact that it was, I don't even know what the word is, but it's kind of puppetry instead of just CGI for the monsters. Old school.
Oh, yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
I could definitely get behind that.
Wait, what monsters? I'm trying to think of the monsters.
On Get Out?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different movie. Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry, Get Out. I did see that, the Jordan Peele movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, there wasn't a ton to complain about on it, but I still was able to find some stuff to complain about it.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. All in all, I thought it was pretty good.
I love that I was am I so fucking high? When I watched that, I don't remember the fucking monsters.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, so I kind of have a question. Going back to something that you said earlier.
Okay.
You said that I am, like, you're like, and I realize I'm not a painter. And the only reason I'm asking is I'm like wondering, like, it's, let's say like you wanted to paint, like, do you stop yourself from painting? Because I know like Fiona Apple like doesn't play piano for like years at a time, 3 or 4 years at a time, and then she just gets in the mood or like feels like she's ready or feels like it's time for her to do it and feels like to do it, and she just does it. I was just kind of curious about what you meant when you said that.
Well, yeah, so I mean, I think it certainly helps to not have the financial pressure of also having to like live and pay for bills and all of that behind you. Because, you know, if you're her and you have enough money that you can take 4 years off before you want to do something again, then I could see that and I could get totally behind that. But for me, it's just, I don't know, it's just not, I mean, apparently it's just not a high enough priority. There's just a lot of other priorities.
Yeah.
And so it's not that I'm stopping myself because I want to paint. It's just that, honestly, there's just other things that have a greater pull.
Yeah, I know.
To, like, me, you know what I mean? It's like,
totally.
Oh, man, out of the million things I want to do today, like, unfortunately, I can only pick a couple. And usually the painting one is just not even on the radar. Like, that's how many things I want to do. And so, yeah, it sucks. Now, if, you know, I didn't have, like, a fiduciary responsibility to anything or anyone, and I was able to just basically pursue whatever I wanted at my own leisure, I would probably do more painting. Just because right now I have other motivations, and so that means that I have to be doing other stuff, which is unfortunate, but also fun.
Yeah, no, and I feel too like it's like you're like, not you're, but just when people are living life. I mean, that's what it's all about, you know, being an artist and you're like absorbing mana or absorbing something to express, you know, like absorbing experiences to express, I guess is what I mean, rather than just like always making art or something, you know, which I feel can be
somehow you managed to pull that off, which is just awesome. I don't know how you've been able to do it for so long, but that's why that's one of the big reasons also why I'm just always so impressed with how prolific you are in regards to the amount of time and content you're able to produce, which is sweet. And that's when I say that there's like a little bit of, like, I'm kind of jealous about that in a way. One, because I wish that everything that glittered didn't grab my attention, and so that I could just literally not care about so much stuff and just pay attention to, like, you know, producing art. Because it seems like you've been able to really rein that in and like stay focused, which is incredible. And then, you know, I mean, I guess time isn't as big of an issue if that's your highest priority. And so, I mean, because I do a ton of other things that isn't painting. So really, it's kind of just like, even if I had more time, I'd probably just fill it with doing other stuff that's not painting. And so, really, I think the thing that sucks is that it's just not my highest priority, like, to me, as a person.
Well, I think that's, if that's how you feel, like, I don't think that's, I mean, that doesn't sound sucky to me. I think that makes sense. You know, if anyone does stuff they don't want to do, I think that's, you know, not the right thing to do, you know? For me, I think a lot of, like, going into, like, the ability to do this for so long and, like, have this amount of work, one of the most major things is I'm 31, I have always gotten support from my parents. Like, I live with my dad the last, like, 8 years. I lived with my mom for the first like couple, you know, when Jenny and I lived together there up in Salt Lake. I lived with her like for the first couple years of making the John Whites. I think A Light Will Be Thrown is the only album I made where like I wasn't living with one of my parents, and it was still like I was getting money from my dad. Like, so I think it's a thing where, like you were talking about it's sort of like like a patronage, and they're very like supportive of it too, you know. So it's this thing where I think that has more to do with it than anything else, because even though I've had jobs, if I had to like think about paying rent and stuff like that, like it would just switch my mind. It really would switch my mindset. And the times I've worked jobs that are 40-hour jobs, which like one time I have, and I only did it for like 3 months, I think. I worked at like a call center, but
Yeah.
like it was exhausting. You know, maybe I worked there, 3 or 4 months, so that I did actually have like a chunk where I got used to it. But it was fucking exhausting, and it was like way harder to make albums and way harder to like get the motivation, you know. And so it's sort of a thing where I don't take any of that for granted at all. You know, how much my parents had like supported me in doing the John Whites.
Yeah,
Because I
that's
think it
certainly
really
nice.
does. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I was just saying that's certainly really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, a patronage or a patron would be awesome. Holy cow! Like if you could just have some rich royalty that is just like, for whatever reason, is just like super interested in whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, and they're just like, hey, I don't need to worry about anything else in life. Just do this, do it, and they just try to set you up as best they can. That's pretty sweet.
Dude, yeah, no, seriously.
I don't do that enough these days. That used to be the thing back in the day.
Yeah, people don't have. It's very weird how people are afraid to like. If I had a lot of money, I would seriously like. I mean, and I mean this totally. If I had a lot of money, and if I get a lot of money, which is my plan, I want to. I mean, you'll have a lot of money too. I know you're like fucking already there, but I'm still gonna pay you money to paint paintings because I fucking would want them so much, man. And if I was like a super rich person, like your shit is so good, dude. Like it's fucking like museum stuff, and but I would definitely fucking do that, like for sure.
Well, that's funny you say that because many times I've thought to myself, and maybe I've even told you, I don't know, but like if I ever was able to get into a situation where I was able to have some decent excess money, you're the exact kind of person that I'd be wanting to do that exact same kind of support to be like, dude, like I know how passionate you are about this, and I don't want anything else to get in your way. Like, let me help you. You just keep doing it because you're freaking awesome at it.
Thanks, man. You're awesome. Thanks, man.
So one day, if one of us ever gets in that situation, we can help the other out.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Totally. Fuck yeah. Yeah, it's actually interesting too. And another thing, like going back to that idea, like, well, yeah, one time this guy gave me like $1,000, I think, or maybe $1,500. He like took me out to lunch and was like, "Hey, man, I just want to give you $1,500." And I was like, "All right." And it was right after I made A Light Will Be Thrown, and pretty soon after that, my recording shit broke, and I was just like totally like, and it was like that week or like right around that time, he said like, "Hey, I want to fucking do this for you." So I went out and bought like what I've been recording on since with that money, which was really cool. But yeah, dude, we'll fucking hook each other up, man. We will fucking hook each other up, dude, for sure. But God, dude, you're for like the ones that I'm thinking of right now, just because I'm thinking about like, like that era, is just like the fucking Jesus painting and the fucking like lion painting. So good, man. So good.
Jesus one anymore. I've gifted it.
As it, I'm sure it's like hanging. It's hanging proudly somewhere. I'm sure.
Well, I've gifted it to the girlfriend, and it's hanging up against the wall still.
That's awesome.
Right where it was before.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. But the lion one actually is hanging up. That's, I think, probably the only one of mine that is hanging up.
Yeah, that's that's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, that was super fun. I guess it was fucking January 2015 or 2016. When I was hanging out at your house, that was so fun. And you fucking showed me, you let me take a shower, which thank you again. And you fucking let me, or you should talk to me about The Red Queen. And I read that book and it was fucking so good.
You loved it?
I fucking loved it, man. And the ending, the last sentence, the last two words, I think are be different. It's such a fucking cool philosophy, you know, about thinking about evolution in life, but also thinking about like what choices like we can do with the evolution we've received. You know what I'm saying? Or like the evolution we're at the precipice of or whatever. So I fucking love that book, dude. And fucking how sex is everything. I mean, sex is so important, you know?
Yeah, so I got pretty hard into all that, like that genre, and so, yeah, like that one, and The Moral Animal, and Sex at Dawn, and, yeah, like Sapiens, all that, it's just blowing my mind, so good.
Dude, what are some of your thoughts about that? I mean, that's like sounds like a stupid pop quiz question, but like, I would love to hear some of your like philosophies.
Let's see. Well, I don't know if I have philosophy about it.
I'm sorry, I just mean like your thought. I mean, I like all that stuff. I was just wondering kind of your thoughts about it.
Yeah, so let's see. It was a few years ago. So, I mean, other than them just being like super interesting and like, yeah, like you're saying, like, you know, things become, you start to like look at things in a much different way over time, especially when I was reading all of those books, like one after another, because they would all kind of focus on slightly different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But then you would start to see how behavior and all of these different aspects kind of start to actually influence each other, and they're all like this giant thing, right? And so, like, I just recently read a book called, like, This Is Your Brain on Parasites, which kind of added a whole nother aspect to this whole field. So, I don't know, have you read Sapiens?
No, I haven't. I want to. I'm going to. I was waiting for the paperback.
Yeah, just go get it.
Okay, I will.
It's incredible. So anyway, so all of these kind of, you know, focus on all these different aspects of, like, you know, our path and, you know, where we've come from and, you know, what all of the motivations are. But it's cool because they all stack, like I said, and then you start to really kind of be able to draw a bigger picture in a way. And then, you know, now with this other one with the Brain on Parasites, which what it says is it essentially talks about something that, you know, almost none of these other books really talked about, which was just how they're starting to find that there's potentially a lot of behavior that's actually driven through parasites. And so, you know, like they've identified it and recognized it in, you know, animals for a long time, you know, how the toxoplasmosis and all of these different all of these other parasites, how they affect their hosts, you know, and their hosts being like ants or beetles or, you know, cats or rats or whatever. And so this book essentially is kind of shedding light on the fact that there's a very early science going on, but, you know, nobody's really wanted to acknowledge the fact that, you know, humans have a ton of parasites as well. I think there's over 4,000 that target humans directly, and that they're starting to find more and more, or they're at least starting to verbalize more and more the amount of things that they're thinking they're potentially doing to us and our behavior. And so I don't know. It's been really interesting because all of this stuff kind of just compounds, but then you keep throwing in like kind of slightly different views of it all, and it starts to get just kind of really insane and complex. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, even just the idea of the Red Queen is just like the running in place, right? The better you get, the better everything else, all of your opponents get or whatever. And so there's just no winning, because if anybody stops, then they've lost. And so as a result, you just are having to run and keep running, and you end up not going anywhere, right? It's the whole cartoon drawing out the guns and bringing out a bigger gun and a bigger gun. You can't stop. And I don't know. That's had a pretty big impact on just the way I see all kinds of things, from politics to just behavior in people and work and relationships, and kind of sucks, but super interesting.
That's really funny. Yeah, it's really funny. Like, I mean, I can't like hate on women. I mean, for when they don't like me, or when they don't like, for the reasons they like shit. Like, I feel like after reading the Red Queen, like, I feel like I just understand like a little bit more, like how beyond our control so much of what we do is. We're just like impulses, and then we like rationalize it later. But it's just like, you just kind of, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Totally. I mean, I think then that's one of the main things from like Learning Fast and Slow, right? Was that how it talked a lot about how a lot of the most important things, that are in your life are essentially just unpredictable. And so, just like the amount of luck that somebody, was able to get for this thing or that thing, and talking about, corporations and how, the whole like survivorship bias and all this stuff where, somebody gets it and they do it right and they think that this is the way to reproduce it. But, people don't really want to acknowledge the amount of like luck that actually fell upon them, or, just the unpredictable nature of things, and just either getting lucky or extremely unlucky.
And that's using the second brain, right? Isn't that what it's called? Or I can't remember what he calls them. Like,
there's like the fast and the slow brain or something.
Yeah.
That book's so good.
Yeah, I still haven't finished it, which is actually pathetic. So in May, I'm going to finish it. Because I was reading it to interview you, or to talk about with you, and I only got like a fourth of the way through it, and so I need to finish it.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, going kind of like with all this Red Queen stuff and all those books. I mean, to me, the Thinking Fast and Slow, what it really demonstrated was we're very good at picking out the faults of other people, and we're terrible at identifying them in ourselves. And that's something that, when I was doing all that journaling stuff, like, that's what I wanted to do, was identify my faults and, like, try to work on them and fix them. And, like, even just the identification, which seems so hard to do. I think that even just doing that was, like, a huge step in a good direction, but it's so hard.
Dude.
And that's, like, the main takeaway from Thinking Fast and Slow for me, was that that's like one of the hardest things you can do, is really understanding who you are and your faults, because we're just like too close to it.
Yeah.
You just can't see it.
Yeah, and it goes to the same.
Somebody else all day long. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
immediately, obviously, and it's another like kind of a crappy thing, but.
Well, and it goes both ways, where it's like you also can't see the things that are good about you really either. In some way. I mean, some people, like.
True. Oh yeah. That. And yeah, that is a good point. So, And I think somebody else is a lot quicker to see that in someone else as well.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking impossible. Like that's the thing. Like I'm continuously wrong. Like all the time, I'm wrong about shit. All the time. Yet I always think I'm right. You know what I mean? Like I'm always acting under the assumption I'm right and I know what the fuck is going on. And I'm fucking wrong all the time. And they say like, I don't remember which philosopher it was, but like says, you know, like Socrates, right? It's like the only thing we know is that we don't know. Like the main thing you can know is that we don't know. And it's like that is hard to fucking implement in your life. It's like a nice thing to say, but like I realize that like there's so many times where I'm so presumptuous about things and I feel like boisterous and angry and I have no justification. Like I have totally misread the situation completely and I'm an ass. And I've luckily stopped myself before making it. You know what I mean? Like, but like I'm under the assumption of these things that are like altering my physiology, and then I find out they're not fucking true at all. You're like, God damn it! When am I gonna fucking learn? And it's like apparently never.
That's all life has been, is just finding out everything you were taught is just not right, constantly. And so yeah, I mean, for a while now I've essentially stopped saying, you know, this is true and this is true, because it's wrong. It's always wrong. Everything's wrong. I just want, like, yeah, you just can't, like, even all the stuff that, you know, reading these days, which is like, yeah, this is true, for sure, this is it. That's all probably wrong, too. But
yeah.
It's like the truest that there is right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
It's just not wrong yet.
Totally.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's, I don't know, and even that was part of the Thinking Fast and Slow, which, even just think about politics and stuff, which is something I detest, but how everything, you know, like, people go with what's familiar over what's actually true, and so, you know, the things that you're reading about currently, or, you know, like the most recent experiences in a relationship, or, you know, like, the way a relationship ended really has a strong influence over the way you perceive the entirety of the relationship. Like, just the recent familiar ideas and things override even things that are, like, true or not. We take them as true. So it's all messed up.
Yeah, dude.
But you should. So there's a pretty cool book that I read at the beginning of the year called The Course of Love. Have you read that one?
Nuh-uh.
That one's pretty awesome.
What is that
So
about?
it kind of goes in the way that these other books kind of focus on, like, you know, evolution and behavior and stuff. But this is behavior on, like, you know, kind of zoomed out a little bit, and the focus is on two people, essentially. And it follows their, like, progression of a relationship through all of, like, the stages. So it has them, like, have an experience, you know, like, they first meet, and then the narrator or the author kind of talks about it a little bit in a really interesting way. And then, you know, it just slowly progresses through, like, marriage and kids and all that. But that was pretty insightful.
It's like a psychology book?
What?
It's not like fiction.
Yeah, it's just a story. Yeah, it's just a story.
Oh,
It's
it is
not-
fiction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think the author is, you know, obviously he has a really good understanding of behavior in people, but I don't know if he's technically like a therapist or a psychologist or anything. He might be. But he's written quite a bit of books on love. And so this one's really good. And, I mean, you know, as somebody that's in relationships, I felt like I learned a lot from it. You know, just another tool in the tool belt, essentially.
Dude, totally, man. that's like what I've realized, like when you get older, how nice that is. And yeah, dude, I would love to learn about that shit because that sounds so stupid. I would love to learn about that because, like, I don't know. I've realized recently, you know, like the guy, like remember, like this is back in the day, high school days, like when we were like walk around the temple and we would just like talk about girls. We would talk about like specific girls, like two girls. You know what I mean? Like we were in love with these.
Yep.
And it was just like one of those things where just more recently I've been realizing like I'm still that person and I just like don't take those risks because I've been like hurt. And that sounds like fucking so cliche and stupid, but like just recently been thinking about like, fuck dude, that's like who I am. That's who I want to be. Like all my songs are about that. And all my songs are kind of about like that connection like to women. And so it's sort of been an interesting thing recently to kind of like I met a young girl, like she was like I met a young 5-year-old, no, she was just 21-year-old lady, and she was just talking about love, and it was just like super fascinating to me, you know. And then it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, it was just cool, you know, like callus or some shit on your sometimes you gotta take the callus off just because it's, I don't know. That's.
Do you, like, are you saying sometimes you gotta be vulnerable again and like try legitimately, or?
Yeah, like it's just stupid to sort of. I mean, I just sort of I think I've realized something too. Like you were saying, like talking about the Red Queen. Like I'll never feel validated, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like I will never feel validated. Like there's nothing that could happen to me, and I've seen it happen to so many other people. Like you're chasing this validation. You know, like it's never gonna happen for me. Like I could be on the cover of Rolling Stone and be like the most famous guy, and like I would still complain all the fucking time. You know, I would still be like I would still be like a little bitch sometimes. And it's like a Red Queen because you catch up to like who you are. Like you catch up to like your attitude. And, fuck, I can't remember why I even brought that up. But it's a nice thing to know, like, okay, like, I'm going to live my life the way I want to live my life. And I'm not going to expect these grand results or expect these things. I'm just going to do it because it's what I want to do. And I'll never get that final, you know, like you have an orgasm, but then, like, you want to have another orgasm later. And that's just how, like, life goes. Like, you're always going to... Like you eat and you shit and you get hungry and you eat and you shit and it's like, I don't know. It's like a nice thing to kind of realize you're like, okay, I'm in this thing. But at the same time, like, I guess what I was saying, sorry I'm fucking blabbing so much, but like I was having all this like anonymous sex and it's so fucking vapid and it's not who I am and it's like not what I want to do. And they're not the kind of like people I want to write songs about. And it's like, why am I like treating this one aspect of my life like dirt? And I try to cultivate and like water and flower everything in my life. Like I want everything in my life to be like inspiring and beautiful and awesome to like the extent I can do that. And hard work too is a huge aspect of it. And that goes into the relationship. And that's like the thing where I'm like, man, I just shit on this thing I sing about all the time. Not shit on it verbally, but like I don't treat it well, you know? And so it's been an interesting thing recently to be like, okay, maybe it's time to like treat it well and be who I am, you know? A nerd too. Like I've been fucking reading way more comics than I used to. This is like, fuck it. Why not, you know?
Yeah, no, and I think you nailed it on the head with the whole magazine cover thing. And essentially, you know, that just that perpetual mill of trying to accomplish all these things that we think will make us happy and satisfied, and then you get it, and then, you know, it's fleeting, and then it's like, okay, well, that wasn't enough, need more.
Dude, that's sorry, what?
Yeah, no, so I mean, I think that's, getting to that point is, like, that awareness of realizing that there's never going to be enough as long as you're always needing something. And so, the only way to satiate this feeling is to just stop desiring, right? Like, as soon as you don't need you don't need anything, then you essentially, you're there, right? As long as you need, recognition and fame and money and all these things, you're always going to be chasing it, regardless of how much of it you have, because there's always more. And I think if you can get to the point where you are okay without it, then you've basically eliminated yourself from that rat race. But I don't know what the life looks like. You might be homeless. I don't know.
And maybe that's like a part of it is being is finding that awareness. Dude, everything you said was fucking awesome, man. Finding that awareness in doing things too, like I can't remember who it was, but some like philosopher, some like Buddhist, it's like one thing to take care of yourself. Try like being in a relationship, try being in a family, it's one thing to like go in the woods and like just be focusing on yourself. And it's like, try getting that awareness while being a human being and doing, not that they're not human beings, but just like living a more normal life. And so that's a really interesting thing to think about. Dude, I don't think that was such an awesome... Everything you just said was so awesome, man. So I'm not going to be able to say anything cooler than that. So maybe we should see. This is about 55 minutes we've been talking.
Absolutely.
Did you have...
I'm still curious as to what music you're listening to these days.
But before going into that, like going back to the whole Red Queen thing, dude, it's so true with making the albums, man. Like, I thought I was gonna feel like so, again, that word validated. I thought I was gonna feel like, I'm happy, I'm really excited, but it really is just the same. It's like you're just who you are, and it's like, and it's one of these things where it's really nice, and that's again going back to thinking about getting in a relationship again, or opening myself up to that, just because it's like I really like that. That's something that's not just like goal oriented, it's like moment oriented. It's like you're just spending moments with this person, and you do have like, I don't know, just like the sharing, the talking, like that kind of thing, and just realizing, it's been a nice thing to realize, like, okay, let's say I'm 31 now, and when I'm 41, like my main goal isn't just to have a bunch of fucking albums done, but that was like my main goal when I was 21, like when I was 21 and I thought about what I want when I'm 31. It's like, I want to make a bunch of fucking albums, and it's just, I want to make a bunch of fucking albums, like an album a year, and then it's cool to sort of like, now I'm 31 and thinking about like what I want to do when I'm 41 and being like, well, that's not the end goal, and it's really more about like finding moments within the days and moments within life and moments with people and friends, and just realizing like, I called the first 9 albums Cave Pain, and it really felt like that. Like I was in a fucking cave, like just making this art, and I really want to like just recently, like seeing you again, like when I was there in January, and like seeing David Padican and everything, and you just realize like, dude, like friendship and family is really what it's all about. And it's like the dumbest, cheesiest thing, but like, it's just what you realize, like as you get older, it's just like, that's the shit that like matters the most. And so it was, that's a cool thing to realize. Like, I just love that, like my goals are so different now. I still have art goals, but they're not like, I don't put all the weight of, like, I'm not going to hate myself. And that was like what I did in my 20s. Like, and if you don't do this, then you fucking suck. And that's a horrible way to live. Like, it's not positive, and it's not like the right motivation, like to be like that negative and be like, you're a piece of shit if you don't fucking get this shit done. It's like that's not a good motivation. Like it should be like coming from a good place. And so I just love like I don't have validate, my valid, like my self-worth isn't caught up in the work that I do. Obviously I put my whole everything into what I do. Like I don't half-ass anything. Like if I'm going to put something out in the world, I'm not going to like waste people's time, but my self-worth isn't just tied up into my art anymore, which is really nice because it was. And I feel like I'm like outside of that now in a way, or I have perspective on that instead.
That's great, dude. Yeah, that sounds healthy. Honestly.
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
I'm sure that that being that hard on yourself in your 20s probably sucked, but it also was probably pretty motivating. And so, now I guess the goal is to just stay motivated without that,
Yeah.
fire behind you. So if you're able to do that, that's awesome. Are those album names? Is that like a reference to like the cave allegory of Plato's?
Yeah, a little bit there, and a little bit of like, for me at least, just being, like being in the solitude, but also, I just love the cave paintings and sort of, Joseph Campbell talks about them a lot, and it's kind of a real influential thing in that way.
Nice.
But yeah, I love the allegory of the cave, and that is the truest thing in the world, like all the time. I mean, it's something I have to constantly remind myself of, but it's so true.
Yeah. That's cool, dude. I'm super excited for your 3-disc.
Oh, thanks, man. Hell
It's
yeah.
great.
Dude, yeah, well, I've been listening to, obviously, like, the new Kendrick album, because it just came out, and, like,
So good.
yeah, it really is, actually, like, it's one of those things where I was like,
Favorite song on there so far?
I think, Feel is my favorite song right now.
Okay, nice. I'll have to play that one. I don't remember what it sounds like.
It's like the one that's like, I feel like I'm losing my focus. I feel like I'm like, like it's just sort of him. I don't know. It's just a really cool, song. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's such a great album. It's like one of those times where it's like, oh wow, like the most popular thing is really fucking good. That doesn't always happen.
Yeah, I read that all his entire 14 songs on the album are on the Billboard Top 100, which is pretty crazy.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
That's got to be like the first time that's ever happened.
I know, I wonder. I think my favorite song right now on this album is Element.
Dude, yeah.
It's pretty good.
I love when he fucking like he has that part where he's like, damned if I do, if I don't, and then he makes that Drake noise, and he's like, yeah, like it's like that weird, like Drake noise. It's so funny, man. He's just like, he's calling out Drake or calling. I loved it so much. Yeah, that's a fucking great song. Yeah, and I mean, I've just been, Bach, all sorts of like, old, whatever, just sort of. I was listening to Zapp, like that funk band earlier today, and like Smokey Robinson a lot. But what about you, dude? What have you been listening to? You always have like, I always love hearing your stuff.
Let's see. So, been listening to the new Sun Lux songs a lot lately. I think they've only released 2 on this new album that they're coming out with. I think it's a 4-song album, but the 2 songs are great.
What band is it?
Into Sun Lux at all?
Oh, I don't know who that is. Sun Lux?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna send you.
I'm a nerd!
Send you a video to watch. It's it'll just be of the drummer, and it's awesome. The drummer's incredible. But yeah, dude, Sun Lux is great. I'll send you these. So good. So I've been listening to those a lot, and then let's see, some like Deptford Goth and Wild Beasts, of course, because they're great. Portugal the Man has a new album that's coming out. Sylvanesso's album just came out. I've been listening to it a lot, which is really good. Future Islands just had an album come out like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Listened to, which is pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. Rumble Bucket, I guess I've been listening to a bit.
Rumble Bucket, that's a great band name. That's a real good band name. That's a good band name.
Yeah, I'll link you some of this stuff.
Yeah, dude, please. Yeah, that's awesome. I can put it in the fucking show notes too.
That's nice. Okay, tell me the one movie that you're excited for coming out.
Oh, well, dude,
On the spot right now.
okay, so I'm pretty excited about the New Mutants movie, but I think it's just because I've been reading the New Mutants comics and I'm getting into them right now. So I think like it's sort of like maybe a phase. I don't know for sure. I might just be super into the New Mutants. I didn't even know who they were like 2 months ago. So that's why I'm weary about saying I'm most excited for that. I am excited for that. At the same time, it's coming out next year, and like they haven't even written it. Like I don't understand why they make movies the way they do. Like why they don't say like we're gonna take 2 years or at least a fucking year to write it, you know, and like get it fucking right. Like I don't know why they fucking just pump them out. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like there's no way you can be like you can't just, I don't think that's how, maybe, that's not how art works. Maybe it is. That's how commercial art works, I guess. It just has to come out. And I guess that's kind of how art is in a way. It has to just fucking come out. Like whenever you need it to come out. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I said, but okay, I'm excited about Star Wars, but I'm also worried about the new Star Wars.
Right.
So...
yeah, you saw the other ones, right? You like the newer ones?
I do. I'm down. Are you down, or how do you feel about them?
Oh man, they're infinitely better than the other newer ones.
Yeah, the old new ones are not that good. Yeah.
The new ones. Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about that. I can get behind that.
Wait, have you watched like Star Wars Rebels or any of those TV shows?
TV shows? No. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
There's a show called Star Wars Rebels that's pretty cool. You should at least watch the episode called Twin Suns because it's about Obi-Wan and I don't know if you know this, but Darth Maul survived episode 1 and basically Obi-Wan just had to kill him again, and he recently did on an episode of Star Wars Rebels called Twin Suns. That was really good. But yeah, I'm just worried. Like, I think Rian Johnson's a great director. I'm really excited about it, but I'm also like worried that I'm excited, dude. I fucking love Looper so much. I think Looper is one of like the best modern movies of like, I really think it's, probably because I grew up on Bruce Willis too a little bit, but fuck, dude. I love Looper.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, really? It's really good, man. It's trippy. It's worth the watch.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. What about you? What movie are you most excited about that's coming out?
I'm pretty excited about Dunkirk, but I think I'm the most excited about the new Darren Aronofsky horror movie called Mother. So excited about that.
Oh, I haven't even heard about that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out in October this year. So every other day I jump online to see if the trailer has come out. But I think it has like Michelle Pfeiffer in it and the girl from Hunger Games. And Darren Aronofsky directing, of course, which is the best thing ever. And then, however, Clint Mansell is not doing the soundtrack, so that could be a mistake.
I wonder if if it's coming out in October, it sounds like it's a hard horror movie, like a hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's it's labeled as horror, which is awesome. I'm excited.
That's cool, man. I mean, like thinking about really great directors did used to make horror films. That was like just straight up kind of well, whatever. I love John Carpenter, so I love like Halloween and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's great.
So that's cool that he's doing it. And Darren Aronofsky, no offense to John Carpenter, Darren Aronofsky is an incredible director. So I think he's gonna knock it out of the park. That's cool. What was the movie you said a movie before? What was the one you said?
Oh, Dunkirk.
I have no idea.
Christopher Nolan war one about Dunkirk.
Dude,
And the people getting stranded.
with Andrew Garfield?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. I don't know why I hated that guy so much, but I now I don't hate him. But I used to hate that guy. I don't know why.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, I don't know. He's just too good looking to be Spider-Man, I thought. You know?
Yeah.
Like, guys, like, he'd be getting blowjobs all day. He wouldn't be, like, working on science. You know? So.
Yeah, he was pretty good in the, what was that one? The new Mel Gibson one.
What new Mel Gibson movie?
It was another war one. It was about the guy that basically decided he wasn't going to take a firearm.
Oh, that's right.
I can't believe I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, that movie, there was a war scene in that movie that was so epic feeling. It was crazy. And like, I think, so there was like have you seen that one?
No, I missed it, man. That sucks. Mel Gibson's so incredible.
Watching it at home is probably not going to do it justice.
It's not going
There's
to.
a part in that movie, essentially, like when it gets really bad, and I don't know what effect causes the feeling that I'm trying to like describe, but so it was either a mix of like just the way that it was being shot and, you know, the atmosphere and the music and everything, but there was like seriously like a good 30 seconds of the movie where it was so intense feeling. Like, I don't know if I've had like that visceral of a reaction from like a war movie or like a war, you know, scene since Saving Private Ryan, right? So when they're storming the beach, like the first time you saw that was like pretty epic.
Yeah.
So this was that, but like somehow even more so, like real feeling. And so like I remember after like those 30 seconds, like, man, my heart was like pounding and it was crazy. Like something distinct though about it because, and I think it was so intense, like they purposely did that. But then the rest of the movie after that, it like all the war stuff was done really well. I mean, Mel Gibson, he does a good job on that, but it just didn't have that same intensity. And I think it was on purpose because like it was really intense. But like he wanted to give you like a taste of it or something, and so it was definitely crazy for like 30 seconds, and then it went to like normal, just really well done war shots and stuff, which was really good. But whatever, I don't know what he did during that part, but it was crazy. Anyways, that guy did pretty good in that movie.
Fuck yeah.
However, I can't say the same about Silence. Man, that Martin Scorsese movie, I was so stoked about for like 3 years. That one was a tough movie to get through.
I didn't see it. Wait. I know there was like no press for it, right? It was really under wraps, right?
Yeah, I think they probably started promoting it like the month of or the month before. I don't even know. Maybe they didn't even do anything about it. They sent an email out, maybe.
Wait, it just sucked or bad or?
I mean, it's apparently his like magnum opus. You know, like it's like his lifelong project that he's been wanting to do. But I don't know what kind of sucked about it. It was really long, and then it just wasn't really good, I think. So, like when you combine both of those, then it just feels like to me like the recent Avengers movies where it's just 3 hours of just nonsense.
Yeah.
Sorry if you like those movies. But
No, I mean, no offense to Josh Whedon, and I think he would agree that like Avengers 2 is just a fucking mess. Like, it's a mess of a movie.
I mean, it's like borderline like the new Hobbit movie's bad.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
I don't even know anymore.
But you're saying that the Marvel movies are as bad as the Hobbit movies?
I think so.
That's awesome.
It's like they're the exact same thing.
Yeah,
just like
for
swap
sure.
out one CGI for another CGI.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same thing with the writing, man. They do the same. Like, it's like they just have a fucking script already written, and then they just insert the name of the fucking character and the superpowers accordingly, you know? It's like they have a algorithm. It's like, insert superpowers, insert superhero's name, insert when their parent, you know, whatever. Like,
I
insert...
just don't know why do they have to torture us and make it like 3.5 hours long? Like, just do that like formula, but just make it like an hour long or an hour and a half, like a normal movie. And
Yeah.
like, at least then you're not wanting to kill yourself by the end, but like you can like, you know, maybe make it through.
Yeah.
But when, you know, Transformers is 3 hours long, it's just like, it's too much. Can't do it.
Yeah, it's fucking so stupid, and I don't know why. It's sort of like Pirates of the Caribbean kind of like started that, like, and it's just not stopped. It's like so fucking long, and like, yeah, it's so fucking long. Did you see Logan?
I did actually, and I actually like that one.
Yeah, for sure. That movie's fucking dope.
Like that's what these movies need, is like some actual grit and I don't know, a good script and a good movie and good cinematographer, and not just all CGI and empty fighting.
Yeah.
So Logan's good. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Logan. So, what did you feel about Dark Knight Rises?
Is that the one with Bane?
Yeah.
I've only watched it once, and I don't think I loved it.
All right. All right.
I mean, the other one, I don't even know the names of any of these things. There's like 100 of everything these days. I don't know anything. But the one with the Joker, obviously, I liked a lot more. The one before that had some really cool stuff with the Scarecrow. Just some neat things, like with the horse and like the policeman on the horse, and he gets blown the drug or whatever, and then he's just like a horse on fire and stuff.
Yeah.
That was really cool. But the third one, I don't remember anything cool about it in my mind. It was just another one of those, like, it was just very long for reasons I'm not sure, and it just wasn't that great to me. And so at that point, it's just more like torture. It's like, there's not enough bathroom breaks to help this movie. Did you love it?
No, I wasn't a fan of that one. That's like the only Christopher Nolan movie I haven't really liked.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't even feel like a Christopher Nolan movie in a lot of ways to me. I don't know why. It just feels... Well, I mean, it kind of does. But just not a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he made it just because, like, I think obviously because Heath Ledger died, like Heath Ledger dying ruined the plans they had to make a third movie, you know? Like, they had a plan to make the third movie, you know, involved Joker, and so it's like, I think he just sort of, like, saw how not angry, but, like, you know, like, Tim Burton only made 2 Batman movies, and people still talk about that, you know? They're like, fuck, why do you only make 2, you know? So I think he was just like, fuck, I'll make 3 Batman movies. Like, even though it's not the one I want to make, like, I'll still go make it, you know?
Yeah.
That's
sure,
what...
made some good money off it, too.
Yeah, I'm sure he made... Yeah, hundreds of millions. Yeah. Actually, I have no idea how much directors make. But I'm just going to assume everyone in the movie makes hundreds of millions of dollars. The scaffold, the lighting guy, hundreds of millions. What did you think about Hail Caesar? I haven't... I actually have seen that movie. What did you think about Hail Caesar?
Okay, this is a random one because I actually saw that this year. Out of all the Coen Brothers I watched this year, I think that's the only one. And let me tell you something. And this might offend you, or it might not. I don't know. It was definitely my least favorite Coen Brothers movie.
Have you more so than Lady Killers?
I haven't seen that one.
Okay.
Does that Tom Hanks in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I couldn't get behind Hail Caesar. Something about it just was. It was like there was like the silliness of the Coen Brothers, but then like, I don't know. Did you get it? Did you like it? If
no.
you liked it,
I mean,
explain why you liked it.
no, I didn't get it. I didn't. I also don't like, more so than not. I don't like movies about movies. You know, like I don't like movies about making movies. I don't.
That's weird.
What?
That's a weird thing to like have a like or a dislike about. I don't know. I've just never thought about that. There's like a requirement before you can go into the movie. Like if this movie has like water in it or a lake, like if it deals with a lake, I'm out.
That's ridiculous. Dude, movies, you know what I'm saying? Like movies about movies. Come on. And it's sort of like movies about screenwriters.
Birdman was like not a movie, but it was like
Birdman.
Not a play.
Birdman was good, but a lot of times too, it's like when movies are about like screenwriters, it kind of bugs me. But I do love Barton Fink, so I mean, Barton Fink's one of my favorite.
Yeah, that was good.
Wait, dude, have you ever seen that movie Stranger by the Lake?
No.
Oh, okay. You just said movies about lakes, and I thought of that movie because it's the most. It's if you've seen that movie, you'll think about that movie when you think about lakes.
Oh, nice. I mean, if the title didn't get me there.
It's actually really good. It's a really good movie. I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's a French movie about... It's very gay. I'll just say that. You're going to see a lot of naked dudes. But it's also a very good movie.
Well, I'm into good movies.
Just like be ready to like look away for a little bit. It's about like a beach in France. It's a French film, and it's about a beach where like guys just go to fuck. Because guys would do that.
That's what guys do.
That's what's so funny to me when people are like, when girls are like, I'm just as sexual as guys are. It's like all you have to do is look at the lesbian community versus the gay community. You're like, okay, no, you're fucking not. Not even close.
There's a really cool book that I read that I probably told you about at some point, but it's called A Billion Wicked Thoughts.
Yeah, that's about I've never read it, but I listened to one of their lectures about porno and like the transvestite with tits.
I don't know anything about that, but yeah, so there's all these studies of, like the Stanford studies and all this stuff where, they'll do all these tests on relationships and personalities and stuff, but like their sample sizes, if they're lucky, it's like in the thousands, right? So like, wow, 5,000 people did this study, which is huge for those kind of things. But this is compiling all of the search history of the world, which equates to like billions of pieces of data instead of just hundreds or thousands. This is legitimately billions. So this is like the actual behavior of the people on the internet, like what they look up, what they, like who looks up what, like all of that stuff is, it's as big of a data set as you can possibly get for that kind of information. And it just distills all of the interesting things from that. And it's really interesting.
Well, that's like, at least on the lecture I saw, they were talking about how like on porno results, at least, like they were kind of I don't know if they were making a joke, but it was like the ideal thing is it was like what people like most are like breasts, big dicks, and like high heels, something like that. It was like some weird like where they added all those variables together and they said, and like that was like, I can't totally remember what it was.
Yeah, sounds like that's probably the same guys.
Yeah, but it was about like all the search histories and like things like that, and yeah, it was super interesting, and yeah, and like you were saying, like when and people fucking lie when you ask them questions, you can't lie behind your search results.
Right.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I'm just saying you can't really tamper when it's done that way. So. Well, dude, my phone is about to die.
Dude, well, dude, thank you so much for being on the show. This is a good time to end. We've been talking for about an hour and a half, which is awesome.
So you can take this hour and a half and condense it to like 5 minutes.
No, I'm going to put the whole thing up. Do you wait? So on Eric's, whatever, I'll text you about this later. But yeah, I'm going to put the whole thing up, dude.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right, dude. Well, Sean, I totally admire you, man. You're one of the coolest guys I know. You're fucking badass. And I love you, brother.
Well, you're misinformed, but I appreciate it.
No, dude, you're fucking rock, man.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
All right, dude. You too, man. Thank you so much for being on the show, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
See you, dude. Peace, John. Bye. You're awkward at saying goodbye. I'm 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 awkward at saying goodbye. I don't know what's going on. I hope the audio worked. Hey there, everybody in the World Wide Web. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Music, movies, comedy, and eating ass. Welcome. Thanks for listening to my podcast. Thanks, dudes. Thank you. I don't know, I'm just fucking excited that I got this episode done. And now I'm going to be catching up to get caught up. I want to try to make it so that there's been one a week since I started. So I have to do 2 a week for a while to catch up. But, I'll just do some more musical stuff and try to do some more experimental stuff with this thing. And I like to move my arms.